Rookie sensation Caitlin Clark capped off the Indiana Fever's home finale with a bang as she broke the WNBA's rookie single season scoring record. And she's had quite the impact on this team, as actually the Fever clinched a playoff spot for the first time since 2016 and officially clinched the 6th seed.
Picture this: a rising star and a seasoned pro. One is shattering records, the other is watching her team soar to new heights. Now imagine them on the same side, in the same game, making history together.
You've been turning this thing around as a team this season. As a coach, how reassuring or significant has it been to have that backcourt of Kelsey and Caitlin who can kind of score at will and get you through some lulls or whatever you deal with throughout a season?
Yeah, man, they're special. I mean, those two right there can hit such big shots.
That's exactly what unfolded when Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell squared off against the Dallas Wings on September 15th. What's even more incredible, their dynamic duo isn't just reshaping their own careers, it's revolutionizing the entire Indiana Fever franchise and the WNBA. Curious how? Let's dive in and break it down.
Home, Clark pushing, Mitchell backdoor lays it in.
Remember when the Indiana Fever couldn't catch a break? Well, let's take a moment to talk about Kelsey Mitchell's incredible journey. For 7 long years, Mitchell has been the backbone of the Fever, experiencing it all: the tough losses, the empty stands, and the agony of missing the playoffs season after season. But this year, everything's different. There's a new face in town, and she's making waves. Mitchell has always been known for her scoring ability, but now she's playing like a whole new player. Last season, she hit a career high, averaging 19.2 points per game, a performance so impressive it's record-breaking. In fact, Mitchell broke her own Fever record for most points in a single season, racking up an astonishing 767 points.
Kelsey Mitchell, the type of player you cannot give her the time and space to shoot the ball because she will knock it down.
Mitchell is hooking. Here is a second quarter. Kick out Mitchell. Straightaway three buckets.
Here's where it gets even more exciting. Enter Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation who's completely shifted the dynamic for the team. Since Clark joined the Fever, Mitchell's game has gone into overdrive. After the Olympic break, Mitchell has been on fire, averaging an eye-popping 24.8 points per game, placing her second in the league. That's not just impressive, that's elite. She also climbed to third in the league for field goal percentage among players taking at least 15 shots a game, shooting a remarkable 46.7% of her shots last season.
A lot of people don't understand that either about Caitlin. You don't know where those passes are going.
No,
Yo,
it's going to go to where she thinks you're going to score from. She's like a football
quarterback.
She's passing you into a route.
Peyton Manning.
Yep.
Indianapolis' finest.
So, how did Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell become the WNBA's hottest pair nearly overnight? It all comes down to chemistry. Mitchell herself stated it perfectly. "I think our pace alone is catching opponents off guard. A lot of teams want to play quickly, and with a young point guard, I get the best of both worlds." The veteran and the rookie are in perfect rhythm, reading each other's actions like an open book, establishing a tandem that's leaving defenders in the dust.
Balance both doing what you do and making sure she does what she does to make sure you guys keep rolling.
I just think it's based on a read because it's like, I think that me and C-Square try to do a great job of just kind of piggyback our games off one another, and I think it's just based on how teams play it.
Now, visualize this. Mitchell and Clark, side by side, getting up to face the Dallas Wings in their final home game of the 2024 season. What they gave was nothing short of legendary. Mitchell dropped 30 points, while Clark blasted for a career-high 35. Together, they tallied up a jaw-dropping 65 points. That wasn't simply a game, it was a message.
Really proud of these players for what they've done, the work they've put in, the resiliency they've shown. It's just to get that number, and again, with Kelsey Mitchell, who's never experienced that, it's just really awesome.
But it's not just about the numbers. It's about the confidence, the trust, and the mutual respect. Mitchell's remarks say it all. If Dallas thinks they're going to choose one, we both just have a chance to get what's ours. That's not just teammate talk. That's a message to the rest of the league. So how great was that night really? And how did it send shockwaves through the WNBA? Let's take a deeper look. Original clip. Just when you thought you'd seen it all, Caitlin Clark chose to rewrite the WNBA record books. Picture this. September 15th, 2024. The Indiana Fever are going off against the Dallas Wings. The crowd is vibrating with excitement, but they have no idea they're about to see something momentous. Clark goes onto the court and immediately the energy alters. But here's the twist. At the end of the first quarter, Clark only has 4 points. Could this be a quiet night for the star point guard?
Does 20 wins or 500 mean anything specific to you?
Oh man, it's a big deal. I've never accomplished something personally like that. So, hats off to our group. Hats off to the season so far. I say so far because I look forward to hopefully a really good run for us in the playoffs. So, I'm excited about the 20 wins. I'm grateful. I know where I started and I know where I'm at now. So.
But wait, there's more. Clark isn't only a scoring machine. She's also a playmaker, tossing out 8 assists to show it. Her ability to dominate both ends of the court makes her a nightmare for opposing teams. And those 3-pointers? Clark nails 6 out of 14 attempts. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Clark and Mitchell combined for 12 of Indiana's 16 3-pointers. That's right, this dynamic duo is responsible for 75% of their team's long-range bombs.
But now rookie sensations turn Caitlin Clark ready to put on a show. Her 3-point jump shot is good, and the Fever inching on closer in this one. Well, guess who? Well, Clark again, you guessed it. She makes a 3-point jump shot from 27 feet out to now pull within 5. And Clark just continuing to be in positions where she excels. The Fever still trailing, but finding a little bit of rhythm here in the second quarter.
The Fever aren't simply winning. They're inventing their own history. They matched their franchise record for single-game scoring and tied their season high for 3-pointers made. It's as if the entire team caught whatever magic Clark has been delivering. But let's zero in on those big moments when the game's on the line. Clark steps up, slamming down back-to-back 3-pointers late in the game to help the Fever preserve their lead. It's the kind of performance that separates the good from the great. And speaking of excellence, even LeBron James took note. The NBA's all-time top scorer offered Clark and Mitchell a shout-out on social media, calling them a dynamic duo. When the king himself raises his hat to you, you know you're doing something great.
As if the crowd wasn't already electrified for the home finale, Clark nails this clutch 3-pointer, and Indiana is walking away with a thrilling 110-109 victory tonight, with Clark finishing the game with 35 points.
I think today we take away from it the fact that we were able to walk away with a win when they got chippy. I don't know, you guys been watching, it don't happen. It took some time for us to get down to the stretch of games and walk away with a W. And so I'm proud of our group for that. We had people step up when a number was called. Dee, Timmy. The list goes on, and so you can appreciate our group as a whole.
Take a look at this. These are the top 3 scorers in the WNBA since the women brought home gold in the Olympics a few weeks ago. 2 of the members are of the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell.
Think the Olympic break is just a chance to catch your breath? Not for Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark. These two turned it into a launch pad, and now they're soaring to new heights. When the WNBA season resumed, all eyes were on who'd come out strong, but no one could have imagined the storm Mitchell and Clark were about to unleash. Suddenly, they were everywhere, topping scoring charts, dominating highlight reels, and leaving defenders in the dust. It's like they spent the break in some secret basketball lab, emerging as supercharged versions of themselves. And the numbers? Absolutely mind-blowing.
Kelsey Mitchell said, basketball is a language and you have to get on the same page. Me and Caitlin like to play fast and up-tempo, and I'm always going to align based on how she's playing and how she's going.
Let's break it down. Since the Olympic hiatus, Mitchell has been lighting it up with a jaw-dropping 24.8 points per game. That's not just good, that's outstanding, placing her as the second highest scorer in the whole league over this time. And Clark? She's right there with her, averaging 24.3 points, third in the league. We're not just talking about a powerful pair here, we're talking about a 1-2 punch that's sending shockwaves through the whole WNBA. But hold on, it gets even better. Mitchell has been the image of consistency, scoring 20 or more points in all but one game since the break.
Kelsey Mitchell is, she's special, she's unique, she's one of the fastest players on the court all the time. You get her in any type of actions where it's her speed that's going to get her open. You can scheme for it. She's going to be able to get a touch just because of how quick she is. And then her ability to get downhill. I mean, when she catches and if you're there, you know, you need to be moving in that direction to have a chance to keep up with her. I mean, she's shooting the ball so well right now. Caitlin and AB are drawing some attention in some of those pick and rolls, and the help side's having to come over, and it's just leaving her wide open for some great shots, and she's knocking them down, her and Lexi Hall as well.
Ben Clark? She's not just scoring, she's making history. She surpassed the single-season rookie scoring record and the all-time single-season assist record. But she didn't simply break them, she shattered them.
It has been a historic year for the WNBA. You know the Drake line, I'm the rookie and the vet. Let's start with the rookie, Caitlin Clark-Kent. Superwoman, you see what I did there? She was on a tear.
Since the All-Star break, the Indiana Fever have been the hottest club in the WNBA, putting up an incredible 90.9 points per game. Think that's a coincidence? Not a chance. Mitchell and Clark aren't just raking up their own stats, they're boosting the entire squad. Opposing teams are left scurrying, attempting to find out how to stop not one but two players who are on fire. Double-team Mitchell and Clark. Roasts you. Focus on Clark and Mitchell makes you pay. It's a nightmare for coaches and a dream for Fever supporters. But don't just take my word for it. Here's what Fever head coach Christy Sides had to say.
They're special. I mean, those two right there can hit such big shots. There's just ice in their veins, and they've got players around them who are helping them get open, you know, setting good screens, and then moving the defense as well. I mean, Kelsey is, you know, with her ability to get downhill, you have to guard her a certain way. Then she can just pull up on a dime. Caitlin's able to, get her shot off so quick, and also get downhill and get to the rim. Those guys just make big shots. I mean, they're just two, the dynamic duo. I mean, that's who they are.
Ice in their veins is right. When the pressure's on, these two don't simply perform, they flourish. But what happens when that ice melts into pure fire? Mitchell and Clark aren't simply handling pressure. They're generating a perfect storm on the floor that leaves defenses in shambles. So, how exactly do their unique styles come together to make this overwhelming force? Let's break it down. First, you've got Kelsey Mitchell, the seasoned pro with lightning-fast agility and a devastating pull-up jumper. Then, there's Caitlin Clark, the phenom with court vision that appears almost supernatural. On paper, you may imagine it would take time for these two to bond. But here's where it gets interesting. They're defying basketball logic
and getting the recognition that you deserve, but maybe weren't necessarily getting before.
No, that's a great question. I think that I think the reality of it is that I don't think people would know what I see squared. So shout out to Caitlin. That's just the reality. I think she's done an unbelievable job of bringing, obviously her own fans and people that support her. But, for me, I kind of laugh at it and I embrace it at the same time because I've always kind of flew under the radar. I've always kind of been that person or that player, very conservative, very an introvert. So now I get to see the flip side of it. And it's kind of funny. I can laugh about it because I know it's come from a genuine place, but I embrace it from a standpoint of like people not guaranteed to see me play, and now that they do, I just hope I do right by it,
Picture this. Mitchell runs down the court, her opponent fighting to keep her up. In an instant, Clark spots the opportunity. The ball zips through the air, landing neatly in Mitchell's stride. It's not magic, it's two players whose skills complement each other wonderfully. Clark's court vision is game-changing. She's not just seeing the present, she's anticipating the future. And Mitchell? Her agility generates room where there shouldn't be any. Together, they form an offensive combo that's leaving defenses in the dust. It's not only about their unique talents. Clark opens up possibilities for Mitchell, and when Mitchell draws attention, it generates room for Clark to exploit with deadly precision.